welcome, E39 source. Abraham here with the 02540i. If you watched my intro video, you know that my car has a valve cover gasket problem. It is leaking oil, and so I ordered a valve cover gasket set from ECS Tuning for a very reasonable price. So if you're doing this job, you're going to need these things. You're going to need, you're obviously going to need the tools to open it, but I'm not sure what those are, so I'll put those at the end of the video. But what you're going to need is to get your valve cover gasket, the right side, or sorry, the left side. This is your part number for that. 11120034105. That's for the left side. The right side is part number 11120034104. And then you're going to need the washers for the screws. Those will just come with it if you order your if you order the kit, just like I did. So I recommend ordering the kit. You'll get all of these at just all of them together, the inner and the outer valve cover gasket. What will not come with the kit is I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to be this, but if you want, ECS Tuning does recommend you use this. It is the sealant for the valve cover, the silicone, which is 125300. That's the part number for that. So this is what you're going to be needing to order, and then let's get started. So what you're going to need to do is remove the engine cover. You do that by depressing these clips right here and then pulling it up, and then you're also going to need to remove your cabin air filter housing. You do that by opening the top, pulling that out. That's simple. Taking out the filter, and then there's these three clips right here. 1, 2, 3. You just want to go ahead and get in there with a screw, or maybe even your hand. Yes, your hand, and then just pushing that way. And then also you're going to be needing to remove this, and then that you just press it and then pull back, and then that comes out. You do that for that side too. Now that you've removed all those covers, you want to remove your air box cover, which is held in by these clips right here. You just take them off like that. There's one here, one right there, and one right here, and one right here, this one, and then there's another one that looks exactly like this one that's down there. You can almost see it right over there. You want to remove that too, and then take the top air filter cover off. One thing though, if any of you guys know what that's for, that tank right there, go ahead and comment. Let me know what that is, because I have no idea what that's for. You removed your air box top cover. You want to go ahead and remove your battery terminal, and you do that by there's two screws, one here, and they're 25 Torx. So you remove that. When you're done with that, you want to come over here and go ahead and pry this open. It's the cover. You go ahead, you insert a screwdriver right there and pry it open just like that. That fell on the ground. And then there's one here, and then same on this side. There's this one and that one. After you remove the cover piece on top of those bolts, you will need a 6mm socket wrench to remove the bolts. After you've removed the bolts, just go ahead and pull back on this and then lift it up a little bit, and it should be out of there. Okay, now that the top cover piece came off, these are your coils. What you want to do is go ahead and remove that ground wire over there. And by the way, all of these are 6mm, just like the bolts for the cover was. So remove that ground wire, and then go ahead and unplug your wires, and you do that by just pulling back on this metal piece, and then just this should be able to just come off. So there we go, just like that. And then untie this bolt right here, which is a 6mm, and then untie that one, a 6mm also, and it should just be able to come out. Okay, so after you've removed the coil, just go ahead and just pull it out, just like I said. It will come out as long as you took off this screw, and unplug the wire to it. Just pull it out and it'll come out, and go ahead and repeat this process for these cylinders right there, and those other cylinders, they're coils. Obviously 8 of them, 4 on this side, 4 on that side. Okay guys, after you removed your spark plugs, you're gonna notice that, look at this, all that oil on them, on the coils, not spark plugs, my bad. On the coils, look at all that oil, look at it. You want to go ahead and clean them up, dry them off, clean them up, and the most important thing is after you take them off, make sure you do not take your spark plugs off until you dry all that oil down there. You see all that oil in the spark plug holes down there, and then like all those oils, you see it? It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's oil in the spark plug hole, and you want to dry it. You want it to make sure to be 100% dry down there. You want it to be very, very dry, because if you take the spark plug out, all that oil is going to go into the piston or into the cylinder, and it will cause severe engine damage. So you need to make sure you dry that oil and then you remove the spark plugs, because if you do not, once you untie the spark plugs, the oil is going to fall into the cylinder and you will have oil in your cylinder, and that is not good. Okay, so I just finished drying out the spark plug holes down there. They are like 99.99% dry right now. What helped me was I got a can of compressed air, and I put it in the spark plug hole, and then I put a piece of I put a rag over it, and then I just blew some compressed air in there, and then all the oil just went into the rag and it dried up. So once you do that, what you want to do next is you want to remove your electrical box, this guy right here, and it's held in by 2 nuts, one right there and one right here, and use your 6mm socket wrench to get them out. And when you do that, there's also these clips that are what hold the actual, like these clips right here. You see it, that clip, this metal clip right here, this guy. You want to remove those. Those are what hold the connector to the injector. So they're kind of hard to get to. They're right there. But there's 4 of them, obviously, on each side, and you want to get them off and then untie those and then just pull it out. You don't need to take it out completely. You can just leave it laying on top of the intake manifold, like how I have it. But make sure you get those clips like that right there. You need to take them out, and I just put them back on so you don't lose them. And then, but they're really hard to get to, so you need to kind of like get in there, get that one right there. There's another one right there, and then there's another one right there, and then there's another one all the way at the end. Okay guys, so next you want to grab your 6mm socket wrench, and you want to go ahead and take off the screws that are actually holding the valve cover now, which is one right here, another right there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 on this one and 11 on the right, 11 on the left bank and 11 on the right bank. Go ahead and take them off, and as far as I know, we should just be able after that, you should just be able to pick up the valve cover. It got dark, so I have the projectors out, and I did manage to take the valve cover of the left bank out, but it was very hard. I mean, that thing's been sitting there for 11 years, and so it's really hard to pry it off, and you just have to pull it off. I mean, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna think there's like more bolts holding it in, but there isn't. There's only 11 bolts, the ones I showed you, and you just pull it out as hard as you can. Be careful, don't hit the ABS lines, the brake lines over there. Just make sure you don't hit any of these lines, these hoses, they get in the way, this one especially. This side's probably going to be harder when I get to it because the ABS unit is right there, but we'll manage that when we get to it. But yeah, take it out, be patient with it, it will come out. Here it is. So I removed the outer gasket and it was just done. It was all cracked, it was dry. Same with the inside one, it's also dried up, and it's bad, you know, that's why I'm replacing it. And So what now we need to do is you need to just clean it up, you know, make it flat, nice and smooth. Don't use anything hard like metal brush. Don't use any of that. Just use like a toothbrush or something, you know, make it nice and even and smooth. And then, you know, we'll get the new gasket in. So that's that. We'll tell you what happens next. Alright guys, so now I've cleaned up all this right here, removed all the old gasket and sealant off. You know, it has to be nice and clean. Put some brake fluid on a shop towel and wipe it off. Same on this side. And then also on this side right here, what I did was I got a 600 grit sandpaper, and I just sandpapered it lightly to remove all the old sealant off. Now it's nice and smooth and ready for the new gasket. Okay guys, it has been a while since I last filmed. I obviously finished and there's no leaks anymore. The car is pretty dry and around the valve cover, and it's not leaking anymore, so that's good. I took it for a very long test drive, got it on the highway, drove it for a while, no leaks, nothing. It's working perfect. So, last thing I said was just pretty much put in the new gasket, and then just do everything, just put everything back together pretty much. Putting the new gasket in, it only goes in one way, so you can't go wrong with it. It only goes in one way. What you do is you put a little bit of the sealant on. Don't put too much, just a little bit, you know, just a small line across. And then on the cover, on the valve cover, and then put the sealant on. Like I said, only goes in one way. And then wait for it to dry, 10-15 minutes, as long as your sealant takes. And then when it dries, just go ahead and put your cover back. Or actually, don't put your cover back. Put a little bit of the sealant on the actual, on the engine, like on the engine side. And then put the valve cover on, and then start tying the screws up right away, and then it'll dry itself. But by the time you're done, it should be dry. Same thing for this side, and then by the time you put everything back together, you should just be able to turn on the car and drive away. It should be dry at the end. The only thing that's kind of different when you're putting stuff back together is if you guys remember the black electric box, the one that was here and the other one that was here. It gives power to your injectors and your coils for the spark plugs. Same on that side. If you remember, that thing was held in by 2 bolts each one. That one was held in by 2 bolts, and that one was held in by 2 bolts. And then the other thing that was holding it in was where it goes into the injector. It was held in by that little metal clip, U-shaped metal clip. You had to remove that and then take it out of the fuel injector. But putting it back in is the only different thing that you have to do. Putting it back in is kind of a little different. It's easier. You put it in the clip, you put the clip into the harness, and then you push the harness into the fuel injector. Because if you try, well, I tried doing this, I thought you had to put it in the fuel injector and then put the clip back in, but it will not happen. It will just not happen. You can't do it that way. If you try, it's not gonna happen. It's almost it is impossible. What you do is, it's supposed to go like this. You take the clip, the U-shaped clip, that metal one, you put it into the harness, and then you push the harness, all 4 of them, into the injectors, and then you'll hear a clicking noise, and it's in. Same on the other side, and then tie up the 2 screws, and then go ahead and put your BMW cover on. Actually, your spark plugs, and then your coils, and then the wires for the coils. Just everything, just reverse what you did, pretty much exactly what you did, except for that box. Just like I said, you put the clip in, then you push it into the injector. Put the BMW cover back there, put this one back on, 2 screws hold that in place, put the cover, that little small cover right there, I don't know if you guys can see that, you remember it, and then engine cover, and then the air boxes. I also ended up taking the bottom part. I don't know if you guys saw that on camera, but I also ended up taking the bottom part of the fuel filter just to create more room to untie that bottom screw over there, that one right there, because I didn't have room, so I ended up taking the bottom part off. It's easy. All you have to do is take the screw off and then just pull it out of there. It comes right off. Just go this way and then up. Just take that screw off this way, up, and it comes right off. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I'll see you on my next DIY video.